Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the show. Today I'm chatting to our first guest we have is Zarina Davids. She's an international certified NLP coach working with preteens, teens, and supporting parents too. She's also a certified reflexologist, aromatherapist, and access bar practitioner, the founder and CEO of ZD Coaching, and has certifications in from academics in Canada as well as Australia. She has a background in international banking and business, and best of all, she's a mom of two young adults and a teenager. So you could say she's been around the block, hands on. Assalamu alaikum, Zarina. Welcome to the show.
Wa alaikum assalam. Jazakallah khair. Share this
Jazakallah khairan.
space with you. I'm really honored.
We're honored to have you here. And yeah, coming in as a parent of a teenager, yeah, I can fully understand. So I want to get into it. As a parent, right, there's so many things that go on with us when we are parenting a teenager. Especially, I'm a mom of a teenage boy, so that's the difficulty at the age that they're at. So as a parent, we need to understand the behaviors and patterns of our children, right? Can you share
Absolutely.
some light on this subject, on how to understand them, get their behavior, understand their behavior patterns?
Um, that's really a relevant topic. It's it doesn't matter how smart teenagers are or how well they fare in school. Um, their good judgment isn't something they can excel in, at least not yet.
Hmm.
Um, it's the rational part of a teen's brain, let's face it, it's not fully developed, and it won't be until the age of 25 or so. It has
Phew.
been recently discovered. I know it seems like a long time.
Yeah. So we're still calling them teenagers at the age of 25. Is that what we're saying?
I know, but that's what happens is that because their prefrontal cortex is not fully developed,
Hmm.
they process information with their amygdala, whereas we as adults after the age of 25 we do that with our frontal cortex. So they are actually processing more emotionally, with their feelings,
Okay.
and
Okay.
the two parts of the brains are not connected yet. So that's why they're still developing, and unfortunately not at the same rate. That's why we have the teens have that overwhelming emotional input. They can't explain uh, why they are feeling this, or they're not thinking as much as they are feeling. And then based on the development of these adolescents, they act on impulse. They misread, they misinterpret social cues and emotions. They get into accidents of all kinds because they not thinking. They can't understand the consequences um, of their actions. So they engage in dangerous and risky behavior. They are less likely to think before they act. And remember, we as parents are their role models. So if we need to keep it together, we need to understand that they need a safe environment with consistent loving and support. That's absolutely vital. And we
Hmm.
need to be able to talk to our children as they are growing up. When we engage with them, when we talk to them, they feel seen and heard. Then they are more mindful of or at least we can throw some light and make them more mindful of the emotions that they are experiencing. I think it's probably a very scary stage as well, and a
Okay.
very rebellious stage, I would say. I think
Hmm.
each teenager responds differently. But the one thing we need to understand as well, it's important that that we have clear, consistent boundaries for them. They need to be able to um, understand that they need to be held responsible for their actions. So they need to understand their actions. They cannot just get away with doing what they're doing and feel that there won't be a consequence to it. So
Hmm.
I feel that and we us making an aware or making them aware of these differences can help them to understand and to manage their behavior.
How do we as parents make them aware of these differences?
I think we engage with them.
Hmm.
They remember, children learn by seeing, not by being told what is right and what is wrong. They emulate our behaviors. So at the end of the
100%.
day, um, what we emulate to them, what they see us doing, is how they're going to eventually live their lives.
Okay,
We
keyword
might
there.
not see,
Mm.
yeah, we might not see immediately, because
Ye-
um, it's a very confusing time in their life. And if we just, because we're setting the boundaries, so they understand that, they do understand that there's boundaries. And it's, I know we might say it's a phase, but eventually they do come back. Eventually they do realize what is right and what is wrong. And that is simply from what we show them, and how we set our boundaries as well. So I think
And
that
how
is very
we deal with
important.
things.
Communication, exactly. Communication is key.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so yeah, your key word from there that I pulled up is eventually. So they still have the
20.
process of going through life. And yeah, so when does it come in? When does the eventually actually happen? Like, is there a timeline, like you say, a phase? Are there timelines set there?
It's normally around 25. And
Okay.
I think you'll find that maybe males and females, maybe you find that females, because generally females are a little bit more mature at that stage in their lives,
Hmm.
and they might sort of come around quicker. You do get, I suppose you could call it, depending on uh, the growth, and also, I guess, their circumstances. I would say, just look at around 25, could be 24, 25. And then, inshallah, maybe one day they get up and they're a different person, exactly like they did when they became teenagers. We were
Yes.
like looking,
Wow.
what happened to our kid? What happened to our child, our boy or our girl?
Mm.
All of a sudden, she's a different person, or he's a different person. And you don't recognize them anymore, because then they answering you back, or they beginning to think, they're
Mm.
beginning to find themselves, their identity, you see. And
Mm.
then uh, because now we used to looking at them in a specific way and know that, okay, if we say this, then this is how it's going to be. But eventually they start pushing back, and then we need to be able to have the tools to sort of grow with them,
Mm.
to not to overreact. I think we need to make sure that our communication with them is actually very it's on par. It's we speak to them in a way where they feel that they can come back to us if there's any information that they need, or if they are in a pickle, that they can turn to us and not to somebody else. I think for every parent that is
Mm.
a very important uh, sort of aspect, that they would want their children to come to them when they're in a situation and not
Situation.
look outside.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think that comes from building trust, trust
Yes.
with your kid. I know
Yes.
you mentioned they are a ball of emotions, right? How
Yes.
do we deal with them with anger issues? How do we handle our teenagers when they're going through their anger moods?
You know, that is also another thing. What we need to do there is, I think we need to be patient. I think
Hmm.
we need to cut them some slack as they come along at their own pace. I think each, child has their own unique development, and depending on situations,
Hmm.
children are angry. The anger is almost a front to
Okay.
cover up their insecurities, their fear, their lack of self-esteem. So, it's, I'm angry, and nobody is going to cross this barrier. There's this anger, because that's the way I handle my fears, my insecurities. So I think once again we need to take it in our stride. I think it's not a nice thing to have them angry and to answer us and to be rebellious. It really isn't. And as parents, it takes a huge amount of willpower to, bite your tongue and to uh, give
To
them the
put it
benefit.
aside. Gee, yeah, to
Yeah,
put
put
it
it aside,
aside.
give them the benefit of the doubt and say, uh, I think we need to, once again, it's that trust and that um, communication, which is key, to help them to to break through that barrier that they've set up, which is called anger.
I
Yes,
mean,
if it becomes, if it's out of hand, if it becomes um, where they are beginning to hurt themselves, or whether somebody else is in danger, or whether they're lashing out in ways that are unhealthy, then we need to look for help. We
for
need to
other
look
means.
for, yes, other means. Get
I
professional
think
help.
we'll
Maybe.
Yeah, I think we'll get back into that. I've got an ad break coming up, so I think we'll talk about um, the other means for them to cope with their anger when we get back from the break.
Everyone is just fortunate. This Ramadan, the Islamic Dawah movement will provide meals to thousands of Muslims from disadvantaged areas, as it has been doing for over 20 years, but they need your help. A donation of 30 Rand provides an iftar meal for a fasting person. Become an IDM sponsor and earn Sadaqah Jariyah. Zakat, Fitra, Kafara, and Fidya contributions are all welcome. Call IDM on 031 304 6883 or visit idmsa.org to donate. IDM, taking Islam to as many hearts and homes as possible.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists, with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
Imagine a world where every child feels loved, secure, and cared for. At Beit Halima Saadia Orphanage, we are not just providing a roof over their heads, we're giving orphan children a chance for a brighter future. For just 1,500 rands a month or 18,000 rands a year, you can sponsor an orphan and transform their life. Your contribution covers essentials like food, clothing, tuition, therapy, and more, ensuring they grow in a nurturing, supportive environment. Any donation is accepted, as well as daily scheduled donations. EFT directly into our account. Beit Halima Saadia Orphanage, First National Bank, account number 6313-1080-078, branch code 250737, section 18A registered. Take this step today. Contact Sister Nazarene at 083-653-5669 or email info@bhscycc.co.za.
Yasin Badat Financial Advisory. Are your financial goals feeling out of reach? Yasin Badat Financial Advisory is here to turn your aspirations into achievements. Our dedicated team, armed with a history of success, is ready to guide you through the complex nature of financial and investment planning. Whether you're a seasoned investor or new to the game, our personalized solutions cater to your unique goals and risk appetite. Trust in our commitment to transparency, integrity, and excellence. Ready to unlock a world of financial freedom? Partner with us today. Call Yasin Badat Financial Advisory at +27333462071 or visit www.yasinbadat.com. Yasin Badat Financial Advisory, guiding you to financial success.
Hey, Gulam.
Yeah?
Did I return your lawnmower last month?
No, bye, you didn't.
Oh, no. Now what'll I do? I wanted to borrow it again, man.
With Randry Jewelers, you won't have to borrow or lend because the prices are so well trimmed on all gold and diamond jewelry. Alternatively, we could remake your old jewelry into a brilliant new design. Visit Randry Jewelers at 151 Stevens Lamini Road, Musgrave, Durban. Randry Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
Penny Appeal's Education First campaign helps children to get access to quality education.
I'm 14 years old. When I grow up, I'd like to be a scientist.
We believe every child belongs at school,
And we want education, a better education.
learning and dreaming their way to a better future. With your help, we can provide classrooms, desks, stationery packs, and school shoes. Help make these dreams a reality. Visit www.pennyappeal.org.za or call 031 1100 573. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Salam Media, your spiritual companion this Ramadan.
And we're back, and I'm speaking to Zarina Davids, teen coach and parent partner. Before the break, we spoke to Zarina about anger in teenagers. Zarina, what ways or tools or advice can you give us to help them before it reaches a point, to help our teenagers with the anger issues, before it reaches the dangerous point where we need to get other interventions?
As I mentioned, Yasmin, anger is a secondary emotion for teens. Like I said, it often masks underlying issues such as sadness, hurt, fear, and shame. And when these emotions become too much, teenagers often respond by lashing out. You as a parent, just expect your teen to lash out at some stage in their teen years due to the stress of adolescence. Having said that, note that emotional outbreaks are a regular occurrence in teens with anger issues. So sometimes to such a degree that they are consumed with anger. These issues have to be addressed as they can lead to defiance, violence, self-harm, risky behavior, and even illegal activities. So, when they lash out in response to outside stressors, which we as parents might have no clue to what they are going through, then we need to just give them the support that they need. Give them the proper support within the home environment. And the main thing, if it becomes out of hand, is to seek the external treatment. Get help outside. And don't try and manage it by yourself, because then one thing leads to another, and then you're just left with regrets. So I think the best thing before it even reaches that is that you would, as a parent, you would notice that there is something amiss. That, yes, regular anger issues. I mean, which house hasn't had a teen slam the door from just pure defiance because they didn't get their way, or just because they, that's the way they're managing their emotions? That's one thing. But when it becomes out of hand, and when you can see that, that this is definitely leading to some sort of violence or self-harm, then you definitely have to get outside help. But prior to that, if it's a normal day-to-day kind of emotion, then you just offer them the support they need. Make sure that they understand that they are heard, that it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel the feelings, because if you don't feel it, how will you identify, that there's something that needs assistance, or there's, something that needs to be dealt with. So it's okay to have these emotions. But if to have the emotions overpower you and take over you as a person, then it becomes a problem. So as long as we support them by, staying calm. One thing is for us to stay calm. For us to shout out at them and to lash out at them, it's pointless. It makes them feel like they can't trust us anymore. And once we have the trust issue, that's when we, begin to lose them. So make sure that the communication stays. That's vital. Communication is vital. And you know, as long as you set your boundaries, and you need to be consistent with the boundaries. So, you know, once you set your boundaries, don't give in.
Go
You
behind.
know, one day it's more stringent, the next day it's slack. Then they're confused. They don't know what their boundaries are. Yeah.
100%.
So that's very important.
What tools can you give us as parents to calm down when we need to calm down? I know you said we need to be calm. How do we become calm when your teenager is lashing at you and screaming at you? How do we remain calm in that situation? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Zarina? Puti, I think we have a situation here. Zarina, can you hear me?
I think I've lost you, Yasmin.
Okay, I think we had a moment there, but can you hear me now? Okay, we seem to have lost Zarina via audio. She can't seem to hear me. Let's try this again. Let's test again. Zarina, can you hear me? Okay, we seem to have an audio issue. Puti, do you want to double check with us? Okay, I think we're going to wrap up this. Jazakallah so much for your time, Zarina. It was lovely chatting to you. I think we want to have more conversations with regards to our teenagers.
Lost our sound, Yasmin.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. You're back. Yeah, I think we have lost our sound. I don't know what happened there. But we're going to wrap up this segment. Jazakallah for joining us if you can hear me. And yeah, we'll set up another day to discuss more with Zarina.